So this is the second time I've recorded this because the first time the audio was really staticky and I don't think the port for the mic was plugged completely in. So I'm going to try this again. For my Practicum class, we have to do a case presentation reflection. And part of this assignment is, I guess the whole of this assignment is to using case material from one client, either from your site or from a movie or case vignette. If you are not yet seeing clients, your paper should address, following description of the client, the self as a professional counselor, personal values in counseling, identification with the client, and then reflect on learning self-awareness, stuff like that. And it's a struggle for me because I have not yet been placed. We're in week 8 of the practicum, and I have not yet been placed because my area doesn't have a lot of mental health practices in a professional setting. A lot of them take place in people's homes. A lot of them are just individuals with a counseling license, just seeing clients when they can. And so they don't have the clientele to be able to bring on an intern. So it's been a struggle to get me placed. And so I'm not seeing clients yet, which means I've had to use a fictional character. Now, with the way my brain works, even though I'm an author, even though I'm able to put other people into situations and everything and have them interact and all this other stuff, it's difficult because of my black and white thinking and the way my mind works to put myself into a situation with a fictional character. The character I chose wasn't from a film, but from a TV show. It was Jackie Harris from Roseanne and later The Connors. Because I felt that because of the way her character evolves or devolves in this case, she goes from being the fun, more down-to-earth aunt and sister and sister-in-law, who's more of like based on a real person. Once she gets injured on the job as a police officer, she begins this downward spiral of becoming more eccentric, more hyperactive. And that's compounded by the abuse she sustains from Fletcher, and all this. And she starts becoming this over-the-top character, which was done for comedic purposes, I understand. It also makes her the ideal client person for someone going into counseling who plans on specializing in neurodivergence and trauma, like myself, to practice on. So much has happened to this character throughout the seasons. She grew up in a abusive household. Her father was physically abusive. Her mother was verbally abusive towards her. She was always basically the redheaded stepchild of the family in her mother's eyes. Jumping from relationship to relationship, not getting married until her 40s and having her first child, her only child, in her 40s, which I think was retconned in the Connors because no mention is made of her son. But I digress. Um, she became a police officer, then a truck driver, then she owned this restaurant with Roseanne, and that restaurant eventually goes under, and she becomes a life coach, and then she opens the restaurant back up, and then she gets married. She's married, divorced, remarried to a veterinarian, and all the while she's realizing her mom has dementia. And she starts to receive closure from her mother for the way she was treated all these years. During her mom's, final day, months, weeks, years, whatever it is. And her mom starts taking this experimental medication that helps her remember more, and experience life a little bit easier while having dementia and everything. So she has more good days than bad days. But then right as they kind of reconcile, her mom kind of goes off to see the world while she can still enjoy it. And this puts her in a really rough place because she has all these changes going on. Her sister that she was really close to died from a drug overdose. She was recently married. Her sister's widower marries her new husband's sister. Her nieces and nephew are all growing up. There's no mention of her son or her ex-husband whatsoever. Just so many changes going on in her life that make her character ideal to write a paper about. But I find myself stuck because we have to reflect on the self as a professional counselor in dealing with this client, personal values in counseling when dealing with this client, identification with the client, and reflection on learning self-awareness and everything. And it's a struggle because I haven't been put in that situation yet. Seeing clients, we've done practice sessions and everything with other classmates and all that, but it's kept very simplified. I haven't actually seen a real client yet. And so trying to put myself into the world of the Connors, in the world of Roseanne, and be a therapist to this fictional character, it's been challenging. So far, I've gotten a page written. And most of it is a single paragraph that I've kind of stretched, talking about the history of the client. And now I'm going into our sessions, talking about my reactions, my thoughts, and everything in session. And it's challenging because of the black and white thinking, because of the way my brain works. It's difficult to put myself into that fictional place. And so I find myself trying to find the series on streaming. The old Roseanne series, The Connors. The Connors I know is on Hulu. But Roseanne has become a little bit more difficult to find. So yeah, let me know. Has anyone else experienced this with assignments or practices, stuff where you have to put yourself into a fictitious situation? Tell me about it.